Hello and welcome to episode 3 of FEI Tokyo Stories. Today, we look back over 4 incredible days of jumping. I'm Phil Ghazala, and I'm delighted to be joined by Norwegian athlete Victoria Gulliksen. Victoria, thank you very much indeed for joining us today. First of all, how are you?
I am good, thank you. How are you?
Good. Yeah, really good, thanks. Really good. Victoria, we're going to have a start with the individual medals. And that started off with 73 combinations going into that first day qualifier. Just 30 could go through to the final. But one of the things about over the last 30 or 40 years, predicting jumping events now is it just gets harder and harder because there are so many good riders from so many nations, aren't there?
Yeah, exactly. It was very hard. When my father was traveling all the way to Tokyo, we knew it was a long way and just jumping one round to come to the final. It was 73 very good riders, and then extremely good riders, where it was very hard, tough track, long travel, the heat. It was a lot of things that was playing in. And of course, when you are competing and you have a horse, he needs to have his day also, and you have to have your day. And all the 73 had a chance to jump clear. So it was just the one that was best that day.
And there were only 30 places for the medal day. Your dad got through along with the other 29. And one of the wonderful things about the track on the first day, it was very tough, but all 30 that got through actually jumped the jumps clear. 1 or 2 had time penalties, but they all justified their position on that last day, didn't they?
Yeah, so then it made it much easier. It was not unfair. It was the clear rounds was getting to the final. So I thought that looked very good for people watching on the TV and also for the people there being there. Of course, it was a lot of good riders that were unlucky and had one down, but luckily it was the clear rounds that got to the final and they didn't leave any clear rounds out.
Absolutely. It was very special that. Well, the 30 came forward and we had just 20% into the most amazing jump off. What were your thoughts about the jump off?
It was incredible to watch. It was so exciting. Even in the end of the individuals first round, was a lot of people I thought would jump clear and did not clear it. And then when you had the 6 clears, 3 Swedish, they were incredible. And I must say it was very exciting and it was good for people to watch on TV that doesn't understand the sport. And it was show. They were all riding very fast on all these big fences and a difficult track. So yeah, I must say the best one won.
Well, let's just talk about the 3 medalists because the gold. Let's do it in that order. We've seen Ben Mayer of Great Britain with the incredibly and wonderfully named Explosion W come out with gold. Well deserved after some tremendous performances over the last couple of years.
Yeah, I must say it was very well deserved. He was riding an incredible jump off where he tried everything. He didn't try to just get a medal. He was really going for the gold. Him and Explosion is having an extremely good partnership where you show in the jump off in that difficult track how important it is. And they were really giving it all. And I must say it was incredible to watch and you get the cheek bumps just thinking about it.
And when Ben had clinched the gold, it left the silver to probably one of the most popular partnerships in sport, let alone the sport of jumping, in Peder Fredricson and All In. Once again, silver. I'm not sure we'll come on to the team event any minute, but when you saw a horse that I know you have followed through its entire career, All In now being 15 years old, what were your thoughts when you saw Peder, yet again, the bridesmaid, if you like?
I must say it was incredible. You just showed there how good Peder and All In is to prepare for a championship. They're the only one that has 2 medals from 2 different Olympic games, and having a silver is just very strong. Of course, he was also riding like he could have won the gold medal. I must say he also would have deserved the gold medal. He was really trying. He had a very smooth round and it was incredible to watch. All In is a very good horse. And Peder is an extremely good rider. He showed the whole way that he was very quiet and relaxed, and he was just trying to go as fast as possible, but Ben was just a tip faster.
And reflecting on Explosion W, another horse of a similar age, a year difference, that came forward for the bronze was Michael van der Vleuten of the Netherlands with his horse Beauville Z. Another comparatively young horse. Again, we've seen some wonderful indoor performances in World Cups from Beauville Z, but another very exciting partnership took bronze.
Yeah, I must say, Michael was riding really good. He was later in the jump off, and I think he made his plan just to try to be in the medal. And he knew the two first ones was very fast, and he was riding a beautiful round. The horse and him is also a very good team, and the horse jumped really good. And it's just so close race in the jump off that it's hard to say. It's just the one that was riding a little bit faster that was winning, but they all are well-deserved gold medal in my eyes.
Well, that's the medalists, but of course there were another 70 competitors in the individual that came forward. And we've got to make a special mention for Daisuke Fukushima of Japan, finishing 6th. Japan could actually, we were expecting them to possibly get a medal in Tokyo, which would have been tremendous. It wasn't to be, but Daisuke Fukushima, not a name known that globally in terms of jumping, but he left a lot of very, very famous athletes in his wake, didn't he?
Oh, absolutely. He was doing an incredible performance on home arena with that pressure to go there to Tokyo, and they know that everyone wants you to be the medalist, and he was doing incredible good. He was early in the jump off that maybe didn't know how fast he could have ride, and he wanted to have a little safe round where he knew he was clear to put the pressure on the other riders. And maybe he doesn't have the old experience like Ben and Peder and Michael. They've been riding a lot of jump offs, but I must say I was impressed by his performance, and his horse is an incredible horse. And I think it was very nice for Tokyo to be there and watch him and see a Japanese rider being top 5 in the Olympic Games.
It was a truly great jump off with the 6 competitors, and one of them including a local rider, as you say. Well, let's just move on. We'll talk about some of the horses later in more detail, but let's just move on and now look at the team competition. I'm just going to refer to my notes. First of all, 19 teams came forward and only 10 were allowed to go on to the final day. So that competition in itself was going to be very, very tight, and a lot of very nervous people making sure they got into the top 10. Once it settled down and we got the top 10 teams, I then did a bit of an analysis, and the top 10 teams included France, the defending Olympic champions, the 2018 world champions in the United States of America, Belgium fielding 3 of their victorious European Championship gold team from 2 years ago, and all 3 members of the Swedish team had been in that 6-horse jump-off. I mean, this was going to be a team competition to really savour, wasn't it?
It was incredible excitement to watch, I must say. Like, I was watching it on TV, and I never watched a more exciting Nations Cup in my whole life. I must say, when Peder had the last fence down, we all thought they were going to win the gold, and then suddenly it was a jump off, and France had to go, and they nearly had the gold in their hand, and they went from first to last. It was so small margins from winning to losing, and it was very excitement to see. It was a very hard track, I must say, for the horses and for the riders to ride, and they've been jumping a lot already. Like the Swedish horses, they all jumped 4 rounds before even the last day of the Nations Cup, and then they had to jump the jump off against America. That's one of the fastest riders in the world. So it was very exciting. You didn't know who was going to win gold to the last one was in the finish.
It was truly electric. The atmosphere, had there been able to be people there, would have been incredible in that arena. You mentioned about America being one of the fastest teams around. Of course, we ended up with a jump off with Sweden against America, a replica of what happened in 2018 at the World Equestrian Games. Exactly the same thing happened. But this time there was a different result. This time, Team Sweden brought back gold. What does that mean to a Scandinavian?
Oh, it was incredible. I must say, you nearly felt like you were part of Sweden. We know them very well, and they're all so respected riders, very good riders. I must say, I thought they deserved it a lot because Henrick was just outside the medal where he rode also very good. And he's been cleared a whole championship and showing incredible how the horse was jumping through the whole Olympics. And Malin Baryard was also doing an incredible job. And they were really trying. And when Peder had to go with less than 39 seconds, it was incredible to watch how fast and clear round he was riding to make that gold medal come home to Sweden. And I must say, I'm very, very proud to be Scandinavian now.
I'm sure you are, and well deserved. Of course, that was the first gold since 1924 at the Olympics in Paris, and then Sweden had won 3 consecutive team gold medals in jumping at that period. But this was a long wait to get another gold, and perhaps no man deserved it more than Peder.
Exactly. I think they all, like, he's been silver and he was so close to the gold, and it must be incredible to then bring the gold home. And the pressure he had to ride through for the 2 last rounds, I don't think it's very many riders that would have handled it very well, and he did it with style, and it was just incredible to watch. And All In was doing everything, and you can see there the partnership is so important because All In was sacrificing everything for his rider, and they just love each other.
And the bronze medal went to Belgium, the defending champions at the European Championships in 3 weeks' time. A great performance from them. Again, as I mentioned at the beginning, all 3 members took team gold at the European. So we're moving into another very competitive European Championships in a couple of weeks' time, aren't we?
Belgium is an extremely strong nation. I must say, they were fighting their way up, and the final day they were showing how strong they are and how strong the riders are, and how good the horses are. And they are a good team that work together, and they were really fighting, and was a very well-deserved bronze medal.
We must just reflect on the United States taking that incredible silver with just 1.3 seconds off the gold, because in the qualifying round, when I mentioned there were 19 teams and 10 could get through, actually the United States finished 5th. That was an amazing turnaround for them to come out really fighting on the final day.
That was incredible how they could be so good the final round. They were showing that they could make themselves to zero and work together as a team and push each other to have the clear rounds, and then become fighting for the gold medal. And they won the silver. That's incredible. When you're 5th and you have to really be the underdog and come up, that shows how strong nation they are.
Well, let's just reflect back on on all the horses, because all the horses I thought looked magnificent at the end. You know, the environment out there in Japan would not be something a lot of those horses would have been used to, being most of them based in the European temperatures and the weather over here. But great facilities, and the horses, as I say, looked fantastic at the end. But let's just talk about a couple in particular. We must talk about the 11-year-old of Henrick van Eckermann in King Edward. Absolutely clear throughout the entire rounds. In fact, 60 jumping efforts over the 5 days, and completely clear. That's magnificent.
That is incredible. Like, I really get tears in my eyes when you're talking about it, because the horse was jumping incredible, but Henrick is also such a good rider. And I think he was beating himself a little bit up by getting 4th. You're just out of the medal. You've been working so hard, and you know the horse has been jumping so good the whole championship. And then when he just makes himself calm and he does these triple clear rounds in a team competition, when you do that, you're just such a good rider and you have very, very good horse. But the main thing here is that they're working together as a partnership, and you see how important that is, because when you manage to have that through a whole championship that far away from home, where you cannot have all the people around you to support you, you're there alone, and the horse have to travel to a total different climate. It shows that you have trained and done the right things, and it must be incredible to have that back and get a gold medal with your home to to his
Well,
legs.
well, and then the other horse, one of my favourites and one of the world favourites in Peder Fredricson's All In, 15 years old. I actually was, I've been very fortunate to have seen a lot of All In's performances over the last few years. Just a quick rundown for those that may have forgotten. So we've got the team gold medal All In's won this time, and also the individual silver. That's the second silver Olympic gold medal for All In. But in between all these Olympic medals, 2017 individual gold and team silver at the European Championships, and 2019 individual bronze at the World Cup final. I mean, this is really a truly, truly magnificent horse that will be remembered for decades, won't it?
Oh yeah, this is a horse that everyone will remember, and he will be written in the history books, and everyone will talk about All In, the horse that won all the medals with the same rider. And it will show the partnership they had and incredible athlete that All In is. Like he's a small horse, but with so much power and so much blood and such a big heart that he's trying. But again, it's Peder and him together that makes this combination incredible. And it's a horse that you will tell your children and your grandchildren, and everyone will talk about All In.
Absolutely. Well, no jumping competition can take place without the jumps. And I just want to put a few moments in for the course designer, Santiago Varela, because I wanted to get your opinion on how well or otherwise that Santiago has done over the last 5 days, because I think it has been just magnificent.
I must say, I don't think it was a very easy job he got when he get called that he has the 73 best riders in the world, and he's going to then make sure the 30 best ones goes to the final, and he's going to keep the horses over a whole championship. And I must say, the courses has been incredible. Like, it's been difficult, but it's not been killing. And the fences that he's been building and changing and having the fences in different places to make the mistakes for some of the riders, it's also incredible. Like, he had some fences that's the most beautiful thing I've seen at the horse show and in the arena. And to build with that and make sure that it was technical and good horsemanship for the horses to jump and over days and days. And yeah, it's not an easy job. And I must say, big applaud for him for doing a very good job.
Many congratulations to Santiago Varela and his team. Well, that's going to come towards the end of the FEI Tokyo Stories episode this time. But just before we go and wrap up, Victoria, can I just ask, will we be seeing you at the FEI European Championships in a few weeks?
Yes, absolutely. I will be in Riesenbeck, and I hope to do well with my horse Papa Roach. So I'm very looking forward to that, to be competing at the European Championship.
Well, I look forward to seeing you there. That ends our penultimate episode of FEI Tokyo Stories. Join us on Wednesday when we look back at the Olympic equestrian 15 days of incredible sport. Thank you ever so much, Victoria, for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you in Germany at the European Championships. From me, Phil Ghazala, it's bye-bye from FEI Tokyo Stories.